Hi everybody, it's Llewellyn here with Whimsy, and today we're going to be painting this dresser behind me. We're going to be doing a sort of like a wintry fall lake scene on it. I'm going to be starting off with my base coat today, and what I'm going to do is a lake scene, and I'm going to get some foggy trees in the background and then some closer up trees on either side of the lake coming into it, and then I think I'm going to do sort of a cloudy sky. We're getting more towards winter over here. I'm in Washington State. I was thinking that this would be perfect with the foggy trees. I did one last winter, but this one I wanted to be more of a scene because I've kind of, been painting a lot of scenes. So, all right, I'm going to start off with cotton. And then I've got some of my palmetto poured out and my stormy seas and my evergreen for my trees and for my clouds. So stormy seas is this gray, palmetto is this really pretty deep green, and then I've got evergreen as my trees. So I'm gonna start up, and I want my sky to be really light along the top. All I did to this dresser before is I have primed it, and then I already did one coat of cotton, just to make a nice white canvas to start off with. So that's all I have on it. So far I did the slick stick, and then the cotton is my base. So I'm going up here, and I have a spray bottle that I'm using to keep it kind of wet because I want to be able to blend into it. And all I have in my spray bottle is water. I'm going to be blending some of the stormy seas into it, starting right now, because I'm going to make some clouds. So we're just going to start to see a hint of the fog and the clouds getting in there. And this is just my first coat. I really like with my base coats to just sort of get an idea of where I'm going to place everything. But it's fun to watch it come together with the base coat anyway. I usually start getting quite a bit of it on there. I'm gonna just keep going here. I've just got cotton and stormy seas that I'm starting off with. And the stormy seas is gonna be my hint of clouds and hint of foggy look up in the sky there. So, like I said, I'm from Washington State, so we get a lot of this sort of weather over here. So I have lots of inspiration like right outside. So over here on this side, I'm gonna have a nice line of the trees. So I'm gonna put in some of my stormy seas. This color is really pretty. It's like a gray. It might have a hint of green in it, so it's gonna work out really well. And I'm gonna come back over this with like a small fan brush to make my trees over here. So I'm just kind of getting this area blocked in. And then for my horizon, I'll be using the cotton right at the horizon because it'll be like the water reflecting. So let me get where my trees are gonna go in here. Okay, so that's kind of where my lake's gonna start. And we're getting a nice horizon line in there. Also, on this piece, I'm gonna have a little bit of the reflection coming down under. You guys can see it, it's starting to come together a little bit. This is kind of the messy stage, so. Kind of just getting everything pieced in. And right here, I'm gonna have a reflection of those trees coming down, so it's gonna be a little bit darker. I'm still just using two colors for this one so far. I've just got stormy seas and cotton. And it almost just makes this really pretty blended look at the moment. But you guys know I'm gonna be changing all of this out. And the cotton, as I put it on up here, is what is going to be making my horizon line really stand out. Yeah, we're getting it all in there. If this dries up a little bit, you guys, I'll actually be able to get to some of the trees in here and kind of show you how I do some of those. But it's kind of a step-by-step thing. I don't want to like do it while it's too wet underneath. I want to let it dry, make sure it has good time. Okay, so I'm gonna try and move over a little bit to this corner. Make sure you guys can see it over there. Move my paints over and we'll get this base layer all the way on there. And I'm still just sprayed my piece with that little bit of water and it just makes my paint glide really easily onto the piece. I already had this piece. I did slick stick coat on it and then I did a coat of just the white cotton already. So it's going on and covering pretty well. And I'm gonna add a little bit of Stormy Seas into it over here too. Blend it in together. It's kind of giving it this really pretty foggy look. This part I wanted to have it look like a foggy hill kind of right up in here, but really light off in the distance. I'm gonna get my little clean oval brush and kind of just blend that in. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit more of that, what's it called? Stormy Seas. I'm gonna start getting them all mixed up because I always do that. And we're gonna get dark right along the bottom here. I might actually have to bring in a darker color. But this is pretty much like, I'm gonna go in here and do kind of the same sort of look that I'm doing down here and go over it all again, just to make sure it's coated really well. But this is that hill that I wanted to just sort of come in the distance. Now I'm gonna switch over to just, this is just an artist brush. It's just a little bit smaller. Here, we'll move it over here. I'm gonna switch over and get in my little details. So right along my lake's horizon line, which just where the land meets the water, I wanted it to be really light, like almost white. Well, this is white, so yes, white. And I'm gonna put this, if I can do a nice straight line. You never know. You never know if my lines will be straight. Right along here. Right underneath this hill, I'm just gonna add a little bit of that reflection underneath. I'm still just using those same two colors. As I come closer with the trees, I'm gonna be adding in a little more green. I wanted it to just kind of blend it right in right here. Make it look like that land is peeking through. In that reflection. Maybe I need it a little darker. It's blending pretty well because it's still wet. Okay, and then over here, this is kind of where you see off into the distance, but over here I'm gonna just get a little bit of my land blocked in there. Now I will probably come back through and, you know, redo some of this stuff and paint over it, but just to get an idea, and see it's blending right into that white, so I might have to wait. But just to get an idea, I'm gonna put my land over here. that's kind of blocked in. And then there's gonna be some trees going up here, but I wanna finish my sky first. You guys can start to see the ideas coming together. This is kind of how I usually work through my stuff, nice and slow. I don't wanna rush it because I want it to look right. I don't wanna have to, I mean, I usually come back and redo it, but I don't wanna do it too much, you know? Okay. So I'm gonna move forward on this side as well with my land. I'm gonna have some trees coming up out of this as well, and I'll be doing those in the same color. And let me get my midnight sky, because I'm gonna have it really, really dark right along like this bottom line over here. So I'm gonna grab some midnight sky, blend it in while it's still wet. I'm probably gonna come back and darken that even more, but for now we'll leave it like that. There, and you can kind of start to see that the water's gonna be right here, and it's gonna go up and kind of around off in the distance over there. Been liking the moody pieces lately. Okay, so I'm gonna start on, it's hard because I want this to be like ready to go behind, the background to be ready to go so I don't have to repaint it too much. But I might add some other hills up in the distance on this side and then just keep this side kind of as is and just do some trees right in here. So we're gonna start on these trees. You guys know I'll go back in and like clean everything up around the edges and stuff. Well, if you don't know, you do now. For my trees, I'm gonna grab, I usually have like an old fan brush and a nice fan brush. So those are what I like to use for my trees. And I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer to this area over here, and we're gonna get some trees in here. Now I'm gonna spray the piece again. This is mostly dry up here. It's a little wet down here, and that's okay. I'm spraying it lightly, just with water. And these trees, I want them to be pretty dark because they're one of the closer ones. I'm gonna have closer trees on this side and closer trees on this side. So I'm gonna use that midnight sky. Again, I'm dipping right into it and just kind of wiping my brush off on the plate so I just have a little bit. And then I'm gonna start with my smaller trees over here. And I might actually, you know what? I'm gonna use some of that Stormy Seas because that is really dark. I might go over it with the midnight sky later if I feel like it needs to be darker. Okay, so we're gonna do some little like, these are gonna be little tiny tree stems going up. And I'm switching brushes because that one is just, that one will be good for the tree branches. Sorry guys. Here we go. So we got little tiny, they're gonna be little trees going up. And we're just gonna do a little tiny little dab it sideways with this one. And these are itty bitty. I might go in with my smaller brush and just kind of clean them up a little bit later, but this will be a good beginning, kind of showing where we're getting them in. And I'm going to make this top a little taller. There, we've got one little tree off in the distance. I'm going to start sounding like Bob Ross a little bit here because...
Happy little trees?
Yeah, because I'm going to have some happy little trees. come in and do is go over them a little bit with some green. So I've got palmetto over here, and I think I'm gonna add a little bit of that into the trees just to give them a greenish hint. And I'll do that while they're wet. I'm not sure if I'll love it yet, we'll see. But I wanted them to have a hint of like the actual color of trees. And I was so busy just getting them in there that I didn't really think about it. I'm just dabbing it in there with them. We'll see what we think. I kind of like them black. So I'm gonna let that dry out and probably just go over that with the black. And then I also wanted to get down here a little bit darker, near the water line, and up into my hill. Give it this nice foggy look. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna be live on my own page. I'll probably fix up, and this part's nicely blended, but I'll probably reblend some of my sky up here. And definitely gonna be working on this background over here. This is gonna end up being kind of a foggy hill in the distance. And then I'm gonna do another foggy hill going up here. And then there's another piece of land that comes right here. So I'll be working on my page at some point. I have my next live scheduled is on Wednesday for my own page. But I'm gonna be doing that on my page, and then I'll come in next, hopefully live, and do the reflection in the water, because that's what really I think pulls it together. By the time you get that reflection in there, you're like, oh, okay. So I want to say thank you for everybody who joined me today on the Dixie Belle page, and thank you for all the kind comments. You guys are awesome, and I will be seeing you soon. So y'all have a good rest of the week. Bye.